And right now, folks, we're going to jump over to our man, Basil Chapman. You can listen to Basil every trading day, folks, during his program, the Tiger Technicians Hour, live 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you head on over to the front page of TFNN, hit that newsletter button, you can check out his daily newsletter, The Opening Call. Folks, he puts out updates every day. And every single week, you get a video update that's just it's a webinar in itself, but you also he just did a webinar last month, the outlook for 2026. You get that as well, great value. Check it out. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee as always. Basil Chapman, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How was your long weekend, Basil? We're back in the saddle, baby, but how was that long weekend?
It was very good. And I said to myself, well, this is the last one for a while. A long weekend,
No, we got one in February, too, I think. They front-loaded it. What's February? Yes. President's Day, I think?
Something like that. We've got one in February. We've got Valentine's. We've got President's Day on the 16th.
They front-load our holidays, man. Hey, it's good. I know. And then once you make it to the end of the summer, we just get Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's it.
Oh, so the year's finished, huh?
Right?
Yeah.
So, Basil, where do we start in this market, man? We got everything going on. We got a lot of moving parts. What are you looking at most, please?
We can start where we were last week, exactly on this time last week. I'd said to you, a couple of things are happening. I'm getting a little cautious, I said. There's a trend line. That was the day that Dow made its high, 49,633. The very next day, we had a Chapman Wave 2-bar reversal, and I said to subscribers, be careful because there's something that I've used for a long time. I call it the Chapman Wave Inside Track Repellent Zone, or or if it's on the downside, then it's a propellant. So repellent and propellant. So you can see that when it retested for the third time on Friday, just underneath the 49,633 level, the MACD had started to pull back. The stochastic was already pulling back. The relative strength, this is the daily chart on the left. The gray lines, the relative strength, pulling back. But the 9-period moving average was still very strong. I said to subscribers on Friday afternoon when I did my video that I do every week. I do the overview for subscribers, what we're in, what we're looking at, what's been working, what's not, how we've rotated through from the when I did that webinar that you spoke about. I spoke about the deep cyclicals, the industrials, how we went long there, and that we were still long the Dow, but we took some profits last week. And what I was looking at is three things. One is the weekly chart had this green and pink, these two trend lines, little mini channel. Look at how the price just got repelled every time. This is a weekly chart of the Dow. So I said, how we come out of this, if the Dow closes on the week with two good candles above the pink, that'll be one thing. Well, we closed just under it, and now we've pulled back sharply. And you remember I said to you, as we were about to sign off last week, I said, you got to watch the VIX, because the VIX index, for the first time, the 9-period moving average, which was pink, turned green, and it was just crossing positive. I said, so that's another warning. That's the one thing. The other is in the Chapman Wave methodology, when we get to a peak D or an E or even an F, I always say just be real careful, because that's where other things can happen. So the Dow made an E, the S&P, right here, S&P, because that made an F at 6986.33, arched over. Look, the technicals were not confirming the rally, and now we're pulling back very sharply. And I can go through the others, but the other one that we were long, the IWM, for quite some time, we took some profits last week, made an all-time high, 267.22, and it's holding a little better than the others. So that's very interesting, because I spoke to you and said, it's just fascinating to me that the small caps are doing so well, making all-time high. That's the index itself, the iShares Russell 2000, making all-time highs, and we're starting to see some rotational work that says that some of the patterns that we were looking at are suggesting that there's a good time to take profits in certain areas. For instance, we went long GE. We've got it from way down in the 279 area, and we've had another one. And look at this. It's gone from this peak D at 332.79 pull back. It's still the 9-period moving average is still good, but it's just fascinating to me that you've suddenly got this in the deep cyclicals. That is the industrials. Look at GM, all-time high on the 8th of January at 85.15. Now it's at 77. Alcoa, we've been long General Motors for a while. Look at Alcoa, also long. Alcoa took profits of both GM and AA a little bit last week. Now it hit 66.95, peaked in the daily chart, pulling back. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying my weekly and monthly charts are still very strong, but this rotation is something to take into account. So we've lightened up. We're trying to add to positions that we've been wanting for a while on any pullback. Yes, Rocket Lab. You remember this is one that we got in at 48, and it hit 99.58 on Friday. So we've taken a little bit off there as well. But the stocks that have been the strongest, I'm thinking that on this pullback, when we make some kind of a bottom, they will probably be the ones that lead on the way up again. You had mentioned Bitcoin, and I've been speaking about this since October, I think it was. We've been long for quite some time, it's much lower down. We've taken quite a bit of profits, done nothing for a little while, and I've been saying, very important, look at this daily chart, the same Chapman Wave Inside Track Propellant Zone.
Yeah.
We just took it out today. Well, the day is still young. We've got another 35 minutes to go.
Oof.
But we're at the low. So you got to be very careful in some areas, and there are certain areas that I'd like to buy. And the only thing as we're going to wrap up, I wanted to show you this chart again. This is the XLF. This is a monthly chart. Pink is the XLF, the Select S&P Financial Spider. And the blue monthly chart is the S&P 500. And they've coincided almost perfectly with highs and lows and highs and lows. And I see you, I'm watching this closely because if we take out in both these indexes, if we take out last month's low, that could be a start of a deeper pullback. We haven't done that yet. And it's interesting that the KRE, which is the regional bank index, is actually doing a lot better. So this rotation that I've been speaking about for some time, look how that's much, much better than the XLF. So this rotation is going to be very important.
It was a great interview last week. And folks, everything we do, we put it on YouTube. So you can head on over to our YouTube channel. Just search TFNN. You'll find our channel. That interview up there from a week ago. And I can't believe it was a week ago, Basil. I just looked at it. I know I interview on Tuesdays, but I felt like I was saying in my head, was that Thursday or Friday? Time is flying. We got a 3-day weekend. But yeah, you started to allude to it. Man, we got quite a move. And I was pulling up the Russell when you were talking about it. And man, after we even talked, the Russell, just last week I'm talking about. And what's interesting, Basil, is that I was looking at this just when you were talking. So the Russell, we talked last, I don't know if I'm flying here, but we talked on the 13th. And
my birthday.
The Russell's just kind of where you are. And meanwhile, you got the S&Ps are down about 3% from there. Yeah. You got the NASDAQ 100 is down a solid 700 points from there. So, yeah, that Russell, even though you're down today, it's been quite a move. And then the XLF, everyone talks about growth stocks. Great charts, man. I would never know if I wasn't talking to you, Basil, that the XLF is mirroring the entire market. No one talks about that. Everyone talks about growth stocks bringing this market higher, man. Those financials, just remarkable.
But now they're a little vulnerable, and that's my point. They are vulnerable, and the regional banks,
I see it, man. And that, the regional one, checking out that, folks. To check out all Basil's great work, head on over the front page of TFNN. Sign up for the opening call. You gain access to those webinars. Basil, look forward to the Tiger Technicians Hour tomorrow. Thanks for the time, as always.
Thank you very much,
Tom. Thanks so much, folks. We'll come right back.